Welcome back. Talking more RV sales process. And today we're going to be talking about how we can get in front of more customers, right? Because at the end of the day, if we're struggling to meet our sales goals, if we're struggling to exceed our sales goals, then it's probably because we're not talking to enough customers. We're not making enough phone calls, sending enough emails, doing enough outreach in whatever ways, we're good at doing outreach. So we could get those customers into the dealership and we can close the deal, right? But at the end of the day, we can't get customers to buy an RV if we don't get them to go through the sales process, right? So the more connections, the more calls, the more texts, the more emails, the more videos, the more places we are where our customers are at, the more leads we can get as an individual salesperson and as a dealership. So, depending on which way you're looking at it, right? Maybe you're an individual salesperson who's like, hey, I only get XYZ amount of leads, walk-in leads or internet leads or phone call leads, however your dealership works. And you're like sitting there and you're like, man, I need more people to talk to, right? What can you do as an individual salesperson to get in front of more customers? And in turn, maybe you're the GM of that same dealership and you notice that your salespeople are not talking to as many customers as they could be or should be. What can we do on a dealership level to get the sales team talking to more customers? Do we need to ramp up leads? Do we need to, make sure they're making more phone calls and not scrolling Facebook? What are the things that we can address, on a micro level so that we can meet and exceed our sales goals for the long term, right? And realistically, when you focus down on getting and talking to more customers, what you're allowing yourself and your dealership to do is not only excel the learning curve of your sales team, right? Because, if you've ever read the book Outliers by Malcolm Gladwell, he says in that book, you need 10,000 hours to become an expert at something. So the idea is you need 10,000 hours in an RV deal to become an RV expert, essentially, or, at least 10,000 hours inside of sales deals to become an expert inside of a sales deal. So if your customers, or I'm sorry, if your sales team is only talking to a few people a day and they're not using the whole 8 or 10 hours to speak with customers and rip and get in the deal, let's call it, then they're not learning anything, right? If they go a whole day while they're at your dealership without learning how to get better at the deal, then in the long run, we're going to be burning a lot more leads and we're not going to be as effective as we can be. Okay. So as a dealership, it's very important to really slam leads down our salespeople's throats in a sense until they get really good at closing the deal. And then in turn, when you're able to keep your salespeople that busy, where let's say they have an 8-hour shift and they're talking to leads and running people through a sales process all 8 hours, your salespeople are going to be making more money, right? They're going to be getting better at the deal quicker. And then the dealership is going to be meeting and exceeding their sales goals across the board because they're able to provide all of their salespeople with enough leads to keep them busy, right? So, in a perfect world, we're able to keep all of our salespeople busy the whole time they're there, right? And that's, ideal, I guess, challenges of a dealership. How are we going to get our dealership that busy all year round so that we can be as effective and the most efficient we can be on a sales, as a sales team, right? From sales manager down to individual salesperson. And then in turn, again, individual salespeople are going to love a dealership that feeds them leads like that because salespeople know at the end of the day, the more leads they get, the more customers that they talk to, the more customers they can close, right? So when we get this good mixture of, a lot of customer leads and maybe we have, good sales training that is geared towards one day closes and geared towards closing our customer as they're here today, learning their, emotions, their needs, their wants, and providing them with value. And when we get really good at that, the system can thrive, and we can do a lot as a dealership or sales team, right? But the idea is, how are we focusing on talking to more customers? What are we doing as an individual or as a dealership to focus down on getting to where our customers are at? Right? Where are our RV customers? Are they hanging out in Facebook groups? Are they hanging out, watching TV or listening to the radio, or, are they at the local pub? I don't know. Where are our RV customers at? Right? So we have to first think about where they are so that we can go and start targeting our customers in those places. And me personally, here at IMR, I mean, we're a digital marketing agency, but maybe we're kind of biased. But, at the end of the day, what we know is everybody is on the internet, everybody is on Facebook, everybody is on TikTok and Instagram and YouTube and all of these different places. Right. So, how can we get in front of more customers in these different areas? What are we doing as a Facebook campaign, as an ad campaign? What are we doing as a TikTok campaign or an Instagram campaign or a YouTube campaign? How are we using these different tools that end up, can be free realistically? How are we using these tools to better our, individual salesperson or the dealership? Right? Imagine a dealership that has, let's just say, 5 salespeople. And let's just say that the dealership and salespeople all agree that, one salesperson is going to do a video a day, 5 days a week, Monday through Friday, not going to do Saturday, so that we have all hands on deck for, people in on the dealership or something on a Saturday, right? But, one day a week, someone's going to take a cell phone, which they already have, they already pay for. They're going to upload a video onto YouTube, which is free, and we're going to get our products out there. We're going to get our salesmen's faces out there, right? Imagine doing that every single day for a year as a dealership, as a business, as a sales team. It would be very strong. But how many sales teams do you see out there doing it? Very little. How many individual salespeople do you see creating videos and getting out there in front of their customers? Probably very little, right? Yeah, so you kind of see my point, right? Is, as we move forward here into the digital age, what are we doing to focus down on talking to more customers? Old things like billboards and like radio stations are not applying as much as they used to, right? At the end of the day, I've personally never actually bought anything from a billboard to date. And this isn't even a lie. I've never bought anything from a billboard. And I don't know many people that do, because realistically, how do you can't even write the information down quick enough as I'm driving 45 miles an hour. You want me to pull my phone out, write your phone number down, or like, what do you want me to do here? Memorize it so I look it up later? No, like, I'm not going to do that. So if you're still marketing on a billboard, probably better ways to spend your money. Radio stations. We have apps and things like Pandora and Spotify where you can pay for updated services where you don't hear commercials, right? A lot more people are using these kinds of platforms, and they're not even, so eventually they're actually not even listening to traditional radio anymore. So the ads you put on traditional radio are probably not being heard. I haven't used traditional radio in a long time, and I'm not the only person out there that is like that, right? So if you have a big marketing spend in traditional radio, your marketing could probably be more effective in other areas. Okay. And these are the different things that are affecting dealerships and salespeople out there that we might not be seeing, right? And if you're a salesperson at a dealership that has all traditional marketing in their lead or in their, as their way to get customers, you're probably not getting as many customers as you would like as an individual salesperson, right? So what can you do as an individual salesperson to get in front of more customers, right? A lot of the time our dealerships have Facebook pages. Maybe get permission on your Facebook page to start shooting videos, to start doing live streams, to start, doing something, right? Maybe you take the pictures that you have of your units and you upload them to Facebook Marketplace or Let Go or some of these other, platforms that allow you to put products in front of customers, or maybe Craigslist, right? Maybe eBay possibly, right? So we have to make sure we can do that. But at the end of the day, with a phone or a computer, we can do these things as an individual salesperson. And what that allows us to do is get our face out there. It allows us to be in front of our customers so that in turn, we're hopefully talking to more customers, right? So, at the end of the day, Tavia, I didn't even know LinkedIn had live. Yes, it has had live for, quite some time. But not every profile can get it. You have to apply for it. So, I think just Google apply for LinkedIn Live. Maybe you can get it if you want it, Tavia. Steve Chesson, fish where the fish are. Exactly. That's exactly what I'm saying, Steve. You got to fish where the fish are. If the fish are on Facebook Marketplace, then we should be fishing there. We should be putting units there. And we have all the tools to do this as a salesperson in 2022. Everybody's cell phone, everybody's smartphone can upload things onto the internet or put units onto eBay or shoot a video for YouTube or shoot a video for Facebook, right? There's many ways we can get out there in front of our customers. So, how are we doing that as an RV salesperson? I think that a video is a very underused things for RV salespeople, right? You can take your phone out and shoot a video. One of my favorite things I like to do when I was in RV sales, when I would get an internet lead, I would go out to the lot. I would take my cell phone. I would shoot like a selfie video, like, hey, hey, my name's Chris. This is the XYZ RV that you inquired about online. It's great. It blah 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 blah. When can you come take a look at it today? And then I would text them over that video, right? So now they're like, and my whole thought process was, hey, listen, I'm going to get them to see my face. I'm going to get them to see my name. Other salespeople do not do these things, so I'm going to separate myself from the rest of the RV salespeople by texting them a video. And then most of the time they would reply back. They'd say, oh, that was a great video. Thanks for showing me. Or they would say, hey, do you have something very similar? Hey, do you have blah, 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 blah? And now we're getting into the sales process. And I can start kind of working my way into setting the appointment so that I can show them an RV that meets their needs, right? Because then if they're like, hey, do you have another RV like this? I'm not just going to go shoot another video now. I'm going to say something like, hey, well, what are you looking for? Where are you going to go? Who are you going to go with? What are we going to do when we're getting there? What kind of truck do you have? And I'm going to start interviewing them, maybe through phone call, maybe through text, depending on the customer. It all depends, right? Every customer sometimes likes to have their own way of communication, right? Sometimes they like phone calls. Other times they only like to text. Sometimes they like email, right? So we want to make sure we get to them where they're at. If a customer is having good conversation and we're building rapport through text, I was never against it. Okay. So if they're asking me, hey, can you send me another video? Hey, well, where are you going to be going? What are you going to be doing? Or I'd call them and get them on the phone. A lot of the time they're going to answer. And I'm going to say something like, hey, I know you're looking for XYZ RV, but I wanted to give you a call so I could learn what you were doing, where you're going, who you're going to be going with, blah, 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 so that I can make sure and point you in the right direction and just show you some RVs that actually meet your needs. Does that sound fair enough? And they say yes. And now I'm interviewing them over the phone, learning their needs over the phone. And once I learn their needs, I'm going to say, hey, this is the RV that's going to meet your needs. Come in and take a look at it today, right? Or when can you come take a look at it? Today or tomorrow at 1:00, right? And we schedule that appointment so they can come in and see the RV. All right. So, these are all different things that we could be doing to get in front of more customers. But what are we doing to do it, right? What actions are we actually taking on a daily basis as a salesperson, as a GM? scrolling the internet, and I think you got it right there, Jay. I appreciate you for that. Um, if we're not focused down on getting to our customers and finding out where they're at, like Steven said, fishing where the fish are, right? Then that's a mistake. So, and there's plenty of things out there. Like I said, marketplace, YouTube, Facebook. I mean, maybe LinkedIn, there might be some opportunities to sell some RVs. I mean, maybe not. But at the end of the day, there's a lot of different things. As a GM or sales manager, maybe if we have old school, marketing tactics, give me a call. 330-703-3930. Again, 330-703-3930. Give me a 3-month trial where you take all of your old school marketing and you put it into my programs, and I guarantee you it'll outperform those billboards and those radio ads that you're wasting money on. If you want to get into the digital age as a GM, as a dealership, as a sales manager, then you have to be on the internet. Okay, and that's exactly what we do here at IMR. My agency can, usually double up the customer leads you're getting as an RV dealership within the first couple months that you add our programs to your dealership, okay, or your business rather. So if you're a dealership or business that is lacking on talking to enough customers, give me a call here at IMR. We can get that problem fixed. 330-703-3930. Again, 330-703-3930. If you're an individual salesperson out there, start thinking of different ways that you can get in front of your customers. Start joining Facebook groups that are about camping and start talking to people. And maybe you go to your local camping groups and start posting in there as a real human, right? And starts talking to people and saying, hey, this is where I camp, blah, blah, blah. And you might end up finding customers in Facebook groups, right? There might even be some that you can share. There might even be RV sales Facebook groups that you could post these RVs in, right? There's a lot of different ways that you can go about getting in front of more customers, but we have to just think about it and then take the action to actually do it, right? And if you're not going to do it, give me a call here at IMR. We'll do it for you. Again, 330-703-3930. We'd love to help you get in front of more customers. That way your sales team can be meeting and exceeding their sales goals. But we're going to be talking about RV sales process all year long. If you haven't subscribed to our YouTube channel yet, go over to YouTube, type in Infinite Media Resources, subscribe to that YouTube channel. The link is in the description, so you can get it there. If you haven't liked our Facebook page yet, hop over to Facebook, type in Infinite Media Resources, and give us a like on Facebook as well. That way you can stay privy to all the different information that we put out. And, connect with me on LinkedIn. If you haven't connected with me on LinkedIn yet, feel free. Please send me a connection request. I will definitely accept it. And then, you can connect with me on LinkedIn. If you want to do a live role play with me at some time, just let me know. Give me a call, shoot me a message. I'd love to get you scheduled for a live role play. That way, if you're an RV salesperson or, a salesperson at any business, it doesn't really matter. We'll run through a live sales role play. That way you can get your sales process dialed in. I'll give you some pointers on how I think maybe you could improve. Take them and leave them. It doesn't matter to me. And we can go from there. But again, thank you for everybody that's being here. We'll be talking about RV sales process and the sales process in general all year long. So I'll see you on the next one.